Hi guys, it's been a while since the last flat update, but to be honest, things just haven't changed that much. It's because I mostly feel comfortable in the flat and I don't feel the need to constantly upgrade it or change it. Have I gotten lazy? It's possible, but also have I learned to just live in the moment and enjoy things as they are? I don't know. Anyway, so today we are going to be talking about the things that I regret about the whole renovation process, but also about everything that went well and I thought was, if I may say so myself, was a great decision. Ironically, I'm actually in my family flat right now, so but maybe that will give me a little more perspective. Before we delve into that, let me give you a brief update on the tiny changes that have happened in the meantime. In one of the Italian towns that I visited, there was a shop. I don't know, maybe it's touristy stuff, but I thought it's cute. I bought like a ceramic, basically vegetables. I'm pretty sure there's an onion on there. So let's unbox. Okay, there's no way I'm gonna do it with one hand on. Ah, this is so cute! I just wanted to say that it was not a completely impulsive decision because I actually did want some fake fruits on my kitchen wall and I have photos saved from Etsy since like 1.5 years ago, so yeah. I also bought an Art Deco print for the living room. I don't think I read the measurements on this piece I just bought because it's bigger than I expected, which is good, but also what the hell. I thought it was gonna be like A4. It's big! So not only was it too big, but upon closer inspection it turned out that it's also completely smashed to pieces. Luckily, the art piece itself was fine, it wasn't damaged, but the original frame was absolutely demolished, and so was the glass. My dad managed to glue the frame together, but the glass is gone now, so it's just hanging there proud and glassless, and it looks good. Then my friend was at an antique shop. She sent me pictures of things that I could be interested in, and I ended up getting these, and she was kind enough to get them for me and then get the transport arranged, so thank you very much. Oh, that's the kitty! I mean, self-explanatory. In what world would I look at this and be like, nah, I don't know. He's so cute. He may end up in my bathroom, because I was thinking of like white figurines for the bathroom. Next up we have this print of Christ of London, which you may recognize from my video. This vase, which looks kind of like an urn, but a cute one. This cute basket, I mean, I could store candy in here, whatever I dream of. And here's the last one. I have also gradually been installing more and more frames on the yellow gallery wall. And this is just a mock-up because I don't have enough frames as it is anyway, so it's just to sort of see what it works like. But it does look better and better, I think. Anyway, before we get to the regrets... This video is sponsored by June's Journey, by the way. June's Journey, you probably heard about it, one of my favorite mobile games ever. June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game set in the roaring 20s. The main character, June, is trying to solve a murder mystery involving her family. In each scene, you unravel new details, a new piece of the story, and every now and then you discover new characters, all of them very stylish. It's one of those games that to me is a perfect balance of being a little challenging, but it's also relaxing, so it doesn't stress you out. I have enough stress in my life, I don't need any more. And of course the overall aesthetic is very much up my alley because who doesn't love 1920s glamour? Come on. Apart from solving the puzzles, you can also remodel and decorate your own island mansion. You can collect stickers, you can participate in challenges, you can join clubs with your friends. The game is available on mobile devices, Android and iOS, and on desktop through Amazon and Facebook. So use the link in the description to download June's Journey for free today. Back to the video. Let's start off with the positives, because I'm a positive girly. I got you. One of the things that I wasn't 100% in on was the kitchen door. I had a lot of people come and tell me that I should get rid of the whole kitchen wall, open up the kitchen space, connect the kitchen to the living room area, or just to take the door out. Now, I can't remember why, but I think the main reason that I decided to stay with the original kitchen door was that it was in fact original, it was true to the place, and I wanted to keep as many original elements of the flat as possible, but I didn't really have a philosophy really in mind at the time. 2 years in, it was the best idea. Not only does the door block all of the smells, and there's plentiful because I don't have a mechanical kitchen ventilation, but it also blocks the sounds, and there is a lot of the sounds in the kitchen. There is the fridge, there is the washing machine, there's the dryer, and there is the dishwasher. So when all these things are going, it's actually getting pretty loud, and I had moments where I was trying to record a video, but I just had to close the door and close another door, and then my room was soundproof and there was no washing machine sounds in the middle of the video. So that's actually great. Speaking of the washing machine, I am so happy that I got one with a tumble dryer. I've never had a dryer before, I've never used a dryer before, but it's so convenient to just take out laundry and it's ready to be folded and put into the wardrobe. Even if you forget about it, it doesn't go stinky if you leave it there for a couple of hours like wet laundry does. So to me, personally, one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. You probably remember my dad's space-saving design with the fridge being installed right above the washing machine. It was a risky idea. It was an idea that required a lot of engineering, a lot of experimenting, and a lot of skill, none of which I contributed, but it was one of the ideas that I can now confidently say it 100% worked. And it has paid off because it saved me so much space in what is already a pretty small kitchen. One time it was inconvenient was when I dropped a box of cream in the fridge and it spilled all over the washing machine. That was literally the one time when I was like, maybe it wasn't a good idea after all. Otherwise, 10 out of 10. Now I have covered the washing machine with this cute vintage looking curtain, so it's even cuter now. Moving on to the bathroom, one of my best decisions was insisting on a bath. I was not a bath person before. I mostly had washing antique clothing in mind, not gonna lie. But turns out I am a bath person now. There is nothing better after a day of freezing your ass outside than to come home and take a bath. I even bought a bath shelf now. I'm a bath girly. Another thing that I wasn't sure Another thing that I wasn't sure if it's going to work out was that I went with a different theme for each one of my rooms. I did an 18th century style bedroom, I did a Victorian inspired kitchen, I did an Art Deco inspired living room, and I was deep inside, I was just afraid it's all going to clash aesthetically. Of course, when the doors are wide open, it is a little jarring sometimes to see all the combinations of colors and patterns. Especially the yellow room, I think, is a shocker because it's so different to the others. But also once I started decorating it, it started making much more sense. And overall, I'm happy that I went for different things because I wanted to have all the things and I have them, so that's great. Speaking of walls, I was also not a wallpaper person, but now I'm 100% in. Give me all the wallpapers. It's such an easy way to make a space look amazing, and if you choose the right print, it just adds so much personality and texture to the room. Honestly, if I knew how well the wallpaper would work, I would probably put wallpaper up also in the yellow room instead of the yellow paint. But now I enjoy the paint too much to change it. You may remember that when I was looking for a perfect sofa, there were a lot of sofas or couches from the era, from the 1930s, that were beautiful but were kind of impractical because they didn't have the option to sleep. I really wanted to have that additional space when I'm having guests, so I risked it all for a modern sofa that was perhaps not 100% in style, and honestly, so far it has worked great, it looks great, and I've used it so many times with so many different people. It sounds bad, but they were my friends, I promise. The only problem is because the sofa is so thin, there's no storage space inside, so I had to come up with a way to hide away all the guest duvets. Even though I have only used the table add-on once, I still feel like it was a good decision to have that option and not to be limited by the size of your table. Because in the future I don't have to worry about not having enough space to have guests, either for dinner or if I ever wanted to host Christmas. All I have to do is go to the basement, pick up the one remaining piece, fold out the table, and voila, everyone fits, everyone's comfortable, there is enough space for food. Good decision. When I first transported the gramophone cupboard to the flat, I felt like it's way too big to look good anywhere. I tried placing it in the yellow room, but didn't look good. Then I took a risk of taking it to the living room, which was already a little cluttered with furniture. And now I can confidently say that it has worked indeed. Not only does it not bother me at all, it just sort of like blends into the background. Not once have I hit my hip on it, which is an important point. It also covers the awkward side of the sofa that I was worried about initially. And finally, it is such a flex when someone's coming over to be like, oh, by the way, look at this. I mean... So, as you also may remember, we tried to recreate the original thick, wide windowsills because the original ones were not usable. I really do appreciate all of the additional space for all the trinkets that I have. There is a lot of additional space in the kitchen as well, where I have my bread box. True, it does get a little annoying when it comes to washing the windows because I have to take all of these things off. But let's be honest, that doesn't happen often. Also, yes, all of the dead bugs are showing on the white windowsills, but overall, I'm glad I didn't end up with like the generic marble windowsills. One of the most prominent features of my flat were of course the numerous doors, and at some point I was wondering if it was a good idea to leave all of them instead of gaining some additional wall space, because at some point I was like, there's no walls in this flat because all of them are taken up by windows or doors. But I've gotten used to it now, and I love my door collection, sue me. They look cute and they give the space so much character. Now let's move on to regrets. I will say that because the whole process of planning and designing the flat took so long, there aren't actually that many regrets that I have. However, if you remember my early flat videos, we did uncover the original 1930s floors in the apartment, and I was told that it would be impossible to renovate them because there's so many nails put into them, and that will ruin the equipment. But I have since seen people going through a similar renovation where they just painstakingly remove nail by nail and fill it out just to renovate the original floor. And I kind of regret not fighting for the floors a little more. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my new floors, I think they're great. And the original floors were very uneven. They were so uneven that if you took a ball and placed it in one corner of the flat, it would roll to the other corner of the flat. But also, would it bother me that much in my day-to-day life? And the fact that the original floor was already there and it wasn't rotten or it wasn't that damaged, it just makes me think it's a shame that it didn't work out. Speaking of floors, this one's kind of like a half regret, but man, people weren't joking when they told me that white floor is difficult to maintain and it gets dirty pretty easily. It makes sense, and I think it fits the aesthetic of the room really well, and it looks great, but only when it's like properly cleaned. Also, if you're a brunette and you're thinking of having a white floor in the area where you brush your hair, think twice. At some point I was really tired of the renovation process, and it was at that point that I was told that they will not install the floors that I have been waiting for months, until I get new entrance door, because I was supposed to do it anyway. So I was like, I'm not going to wait any longer, and I just found a place that had them readily available, and they switched the doors in like 2 days. But let's just say they're not one of those fancy colored ones that I had in mind originally. And yes, sometimes when you're renovating you have to compromise because you don't have enough money, or there's not enough time, or something's not available. But every time you look at the compromise, you will think about making that compromise. But such is life. I am a tall person, but I didn't really think this one through. It turns out that when the cupboard is out of your reach, when it's too high and you have to get on a chair to get there, you're not going to use it because you're lazy. So all of the kitchen cupboards that are at the very top, well, 2 of them, and then the wardrobe space that's at the very top, it's mostly the wardrobe space is at least a storage space, but the kitchen space, let's just say it's rarely used. This is a regret that is possible to fix, but basically I regret not installing a lamp above the table in the living room. I wanted the lamp to be central to the room, but now I'm thinking I may need another one that's above the table because shit gets dark. It's in the corner of the room that's the farthest away from the window, and I thought that the top light is just gonna be enough, but turns out that it's actually getting pretty dark in that corner, so something to fix in the future. Now, there wasn't much I could do about it because the toilet was by default tiny. But after a while, I'm thinking that maybe it is actually too tiny. It's claustrophobic. I don't really mind that much. It gets awkward when someone visits because I have to explain that the toilet is in fact small. I have seen a flat from the same building where the way they did it is they took up some of the space from the entry room and they expanded the toilet so it's not so tiny, and now I'm thinking maybe I should have done the same. I mean, I would be sad to see the entry room space sacrificed for the toilet, but I wouldn't mind a toilet that is maybe just ever so slightly bigger. You don't smash your forehead on the door. This one might surprise you because wasn't I just looking for a double-sided desk for like months the last time you checked? And yes, I did. And originally that was the plan, but now I'm thinking maybe the desk position in the center of the room or like sideways to the entrance is not the best, but every other position that I can think of, like putting it close to the window, putting it against the wall, that will cover the other side of the desk that I fought so hard for. So I'm feeling a little limited in the position of the desk because of the type of the desk that I chose, which is like pretty from both sides, which is a silly problem to have, but my desk is too pretty to put it against a window. So these are all the decisions that I'm proud of or I'm unhappy with. I'm mostly happy. I mean, it's great to have my own space that looks what I wanted it to look like. There is still much to be done. It's still not finished. 2 years in and there is still no skirting. The yellow room is basically a storage room still and a working space, so there's still a lot to be done, so worry not, there will be flat content coming in. But for now, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with the work I'm done, and I think it looks good. I think it genuinely looks good. Anyway, don't forget to download June's Journey for free. There is a link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!